So, what does it really take to make one of the best films of the year? Is it all about a gigantic budget, or is there something else going on? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on 2025's most celebrated movies and figure out the secret formulas for their success. Let's dive in and crack the code. So, that really gets us to the big question, right? What is the price of a masterpiece? And, well, the answer, it's a lot more complicated than you might think. It actually shows this huge divide in how incredible movies get made these days. Okay, just look at these numbers. On one side, you've got a $90 million high-stakes gamble, and on the other, a $6 million indie dream. Now, both of these films were massive critical hits in 2025, but how they got there couldn't be more different. We're not just talking about money here. This is a total clash of filmmaking philosophies. So what this tells us is that right now, there are basically two main roads to cinematic greatness. Let's break down that first path, the one where having less money actually makes you more creative. All right, Formula One, the low-cost masterpieces. Yeah, this is where we talk about the films that just punch way, way above their weight class. They prove you don't need a blank check when you have a killer vision. And we have to start with the absolute #1 film, the most stunning example of this, Sean Baker's Anora. I mean, this film won the biggest prize in the entire film world, and honestly, the story behind it is just as wild as the movie itself. Okay, are you ready for this? The budget was just $6 million. Six! That's literally a rounding error on a superhero movie budget, and yet it went up against films that cost 50 times more and still walked away with the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Just incredible. This is what I like to call return on critical investment. Think about it. They spent a tiny $6 million, won the most prestigious award out there, and made almost $60 million. That's a nearly tenfold return. You get the awards, you get the money. Talk about a win-win. And the story? Oh, it's this raw, super high-energy rocket ride about class, money, and power. You've got this woman who thinks she hit the jackpot marrying into a super rich family, but then it all goes sideways and she's literally fighting for her life. It's exactly the kind of tight, character-driven story that just sings when you don't have a bloated budget. And hey, this wasn't a fluke. This whole big ambition, small budget thing, we see it again with the #2 film on the list, The Brutalist. Now get this, The Brutalist is a massive 3.5-hour epic. It's a major Oscar contender, and they made it for under $10 million. How on earth did they do that? Well, they were super smart with international co-production deals, which meant the director got to keep total creative control. It's not just a great film, it's a masterpiece of financing. The story follows this architect over 30 years as he tries to build his dream project while fighting a totally corrupt system. So you see the pattern here, right? A super strong personal vision that's only possible because of that smart, lean budget. And the trend just keeps going. Check out the #7 film, Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice. This thing got a perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's insane. It means literally every single critic who reviewed it loved it. It's more proof that what critics are really craving right now is that pure, unfiltered artistic vision. Okay, but that's just one side of the coin. Now let's flip it completely over and look at the total opposite. This is Formula 2, the big budget gamble. Because sometimes you gotta spend big to win big. And our poster child for this approach is the #10 film, the thriller Sinners. Now, this is important. This movie wasn't a sequel, it wasn't a reboot, it wasn't based on anything. It was a huge, risky, original idea. And the studio went all in. We're talking a budget of around $90 million. $90 million. That's franchise money, you know? They bet the house on something brand new. And boy, did that bet pay off. It made over $278 million at the box office. Sinners is the proof that you can go big on an original idea and have it be a smash hit. But, and this is a big but, it has to be good enough to get both critics and audiences on board. You can see why it worked, right? It's a killer concept. A bunch of strangers get trapped, and they have to face their darkest secrets to survive. It's a perfect popcorn movie hook, but it's also smart enough that critics loved it. That's the magic formula for justifying a budget that big. So this all brings up a really interesting question, doesn't it? The whole critics versus the audience thing. A movie can be a smash hit with critics, but audiences might just shrug. And sometimes it's the other way around. A
perfect example of this is the number 4 film, Black Bag. It's a classic Steven Soderbergh spy thriller. For critics, it was a home run. They absolutely ate up how smart and well-made it was.
But then you look at the numbers, and you see the split. The Metascore from all the professional critics is a fantastic 85, but the IMDb score from regular moviegoers like you and me, it's a kind of meh 6.7. That gap tells a story. What the experts admire isn't always what sells tickets on a Friday night.
Now, contrast that with the number 8 film, The Smashing Machine. It's the complete opposite story. The audience score on IMDb is a huge 8.7. That's massive. That signals that people are loving this movie and telling their friends to go see it. It's a totally different path to success. Okay, so let's put it all together. We've seen the tiny indies, the massive gambles, the critic darlings, the crowd pleasers. So what's the final verdict? What actually makes a best film right now? Well, here's what it looks like. First off, success is all about the extremes. You're either a tiny, scrappy indie with a powerful voice, or you're a giant, original blockbuster. There's not much in between. We've also learned that small budgets can actually be a good thing. They protect the director's unique vision. On the flip side, if you're going to bet big, you absolutely have to win over both the critics and the audience. And maybe the biggest takeaway of all, the safe, middle-of-the-road, mid-budget movie? It's basically disappearing. And that leaves us with one last really important question to chew on. If the only movies getting celebrated are either these tiny $6 million masterpieces or these $90 million mega movies, what's getting lost in that huge gap in the middle? What kind of stories aren't we getting to see anymore? It's definitely something to think about.